Pressure pushing down on me, pressing down on you. No man has fallen under pressure. The things that feel them down, switch the family into puts people on streets. Eat it up, eat it up. It's the terror of knowing what this world is about. Watching some good friends screaming, get me out. Tomorrow, get you higher. People on the streets. Okay. Tripping around, my brains round the floor. These are the days it never rains, got it all. It's the terror of knowing what this world is about. Watching some good friends scream, let me out. Tomorrow, let me high. People on the streets turned away from it all like a blind man. Sat on the fence, but it don't work. Keep coming up with love, but it's so slashed and torn. Why? We suddenly lost under pressure, we're breaking. Can we give ourselves one more chance? Why can't we give love now one more chance? Why can't we give love, give love, give love, give love, give love, give love? Sunshine, old fashion God, and love has you to care for the people on the edge of the night, and love dares you to change our way of caring about ourselves. This is our last dance. This is our last dance. This is ourselves. Under pressure. Under pressure. Pressure. Let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on, shout, shout. Let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on. In violent times, you shouldn't have to sell your soul. In black and white, they really, really ought to know. shouldn't have to jump for joy. You shouldn't have to shout for joy. Let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on, they give you love, and in return you gave them hell. As cold as ice. I hope we live to tell the tale. I hope we live to show the tale. Write it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on, shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on. Shout, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. Come on, I'm talking to you. Come on. When you take it down, you go. If I could change your mind, I'd really let you break your heart. I'd really let you shout your shout. Let it all out. These are the things I can do. I really love to shout your heart. I really love to break your heart.
Yeah, I tell you what, man. I love the 80s. I've been re-listening to a book called Ready Player One. I have not seen the movie yet. When I watched, sometimes movies can hurt you. Good to see you, AT. Not going to try to butcher your name for the 1,000th time. I know who you are. And I really dig your content. Memes of destruction, of course. Dragon bites can't be beat. Little snippets of excellent stuff that you get hither and yon from going to and fro in the earth and up and down in it. I fell prey to my urge to troll today. I mean, that was the only thing these people in this group got right, is they called me a troll. Well, isn't that obvious? The funny thing is, I mean, if you're calling somebody a troll, should you let them run their lives? It's just insane. And yeah, I'll save that tune for later. Gonna do a little rambling rant. I want to start out here, right, with what the lead-in says, so it's not just clickbait. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it, but Trump is going to the border. Listen, throughout the Christmas holiday, while Nancy Pelosi was off at some very posh resort in Hawaii, undoubtedly with a very large wall surrounding it, and of course her armed guards that go with her wherever she goes. So she says she hates walls and firearms. That is a demonstrable lie. Nancy Pelosi loves firearms when she's in control of them, and she loves walls when they protect her house from you. Okay? She doesn't like walls when it's keeping oh man, I'm not even going to go there. So Trump to deliver primetime address and travel to southern border amid shutdown standoff. This is coming finally. I cover news, man. I usually get news sources from people that I do not like. Hammered Spud, Hale, good to see you, my brother. Good to see you. I'm glad that you made it over here. I'm not going to flatter myself when it comes to performer and outright, performance artist. MCJK doesn't have anything on me. But I'm not also going to lie to you and say that when it comes to this kind of thing, boy, man, I tell you, man, am I the only one? Or when you listen to MCJK, do you feel like, not like you're dumber than him or anything? I don't feel that way. But do you feel like you're really listening to somebody that has wisdom? Of course, he comes off abrasive, and people that don't like him, they could, say, well, listen, look at how he's saying it. But that's all they could do is go to the ad hom and try to attack the man. To attack his logic and his reason is very difficult. So I'm going to attack this Fox News article from my stance, and it will be different than MCJK's. But hopefully it will be as informative and as wise. Big tip of me hat to MCJK. I tell you what, I'm glad that he's continuing to do that. That live stream on a daily basis, I have come to, I don't know if depend on it is the right word, but the two things that I listen to every day that they're on are MCJK and Tucker Carlson. So yeah, I'm putting him with Tucker Carlson. So anyway, I always end up sucking MCJK's cock. I better stop now, or Cabbage Patch Bastard will materialize here in the Ogre Cave and curse me to my face. So this is, as I said, from Fox News, out of the White House, published 3 short hours ago by Brooke Sigmund. Okay, Trump. Pardon me 1 second. You did not hear what I had to do. It's been bad here. It's been going from 40-degree days to 15-degree days, back and forth, rain, snow. It's rough on a guy that has seasonal allergies, sinus problems, whatever. That's at the end of my bitching. So Brooke Sigmund, Trump to deliver primetime address and travel to the southern border amid shutdown standoff. President Trump announced that he will address the nation on Tuesday night before traveling later in the week to the U.S.-Mexico border as he seeks to highlight border security and press Democrats for wall funding amid protracted standoff. I just heard, I'm going to have to reference him because I just listened to him. I heard MCJK say this is not the longest. He was in the military, not getting paid for longer periods of time under, he said, Clinton, Bush the first, and he said he believed Reagan. Okay, now, of course, that's hearsay, but I trust the man. So this protracted stand-up, they love to just use words like this, even Fox News. When you think about Fox and you think that they're, this, bastion of, listen, all these people lie to us, folks. We have to read between the lines. So President Trump is going down there, blah, 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 highlight border security, and press Democrats for funding protracted standoff that triggered a partial government shutdown, now stretching into its 17th day. I thought it was wonderful. AT said earlier, she was like, I believe it was her, or Sharadi, it was one of these crazy folk, and they were like, hashtag look for another job, public, government workers. I thought that, hey, if you're going to bitch about it now, you did have a great job fondling my genitals and, making 150,000. These people make good money. Very, very, very good money. Now you cry? No, do your job. I did like they found one woman that said she was doing it because she took an oath. Well, let me get back to this. I'll editorialize. I'm sorry about that, folks. And we're back. Quote, I'm pleased to inform you that I will address the nation on humanitarian and national security crisis on our southern border Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, Trump tweeted Monday. I don't know about y'all, but I'm stoked. I've heard very wise people say that this is what he should do. He should be addressing us from the Oval Office and make it a presidential speech. So Trump plans to address the nation from the Oval Office in a first for his presidency. This will be the first time from there. His travel plans to the border were revealed earlier in a tweet by White House press secretary, the one, the only, Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Sanders. I feel like I should announce her name like that because she's almost always fighting people. President at Real Donald Trump will travel to the southern border on Tuesday to meet with those on the front lines of the national security and humanitarian crisis. More details will be announced soon, Sanders tweeted. A law enforcement source told Fox News that Trump plans to visit the border by McAllen, Texas. That's one of the hot spots, man. It's one of the places they need a structure, a wall, a barrier, a fence, something tall, something deep, something hard to get over, something hard to get under, something that is well observed by people that know how to watch this kind of thing. And as MCJK said, they can be morons. You don't want to have your best and brightest sitting in a bloody Jeep in the desert Southwest looking at a spot of land with a fence. But you do want to have those idiots out there. Pardon me. You do want to have those people out there that need jobs, that are hard workers, that never get bored with staring at a monitor or whatever it is. We do. I do not like nations and borders and countries. This is not something I love. I'm an anarcho-capitalist, but I'm going to say this. As long as my money, as long as Mrs. Ogre's gone right now, 12 hours, she'll be gone today. She's a respiratory therapist. And they take so much money from her. It is ridiculous. Still, she pays 18.5 to 20% out of her check to taxes. Come on, man. We're not rich people here. I digress. The president's visit will come on what is, let me get this back up here for y'all so you know I'm not up in there. There we go. And we're right here. The president's visit will come on what is likely to be the 20th day of the partial government shutdown. Numerous government agencies first ran out of funding on December 22nd as Democrats vowed to block Trump's request of $5.7 billion to build a border wall, and Trump insisted on the money. Trump insisted on the money. They make it look like this is a big deal. He's talking about cutting off aid. We give money to countries that say that we're scum and we caused all their problems. Maybe, do you think possibly that El Salvador and Honduras says we're scum and that we caused their problems so that we keep giving them? I don't remember what it was. It was like $4 billion to El Salvador, Honduras. It's billions. If you take away those two just giving to these countries for why? Well, I don't know. Detroit is downstate from here. Grand Rapids, Saginaw, Lansing. This is just my state. Shitholes, Kalamazoo, Wasteland. Give us that $5 billion you were going to give Honduras and El Salvador. Give it to us. Don't give it to our appointed gods in office. Don't give it to Lansing and those morons there that will give it to their friends and all that nepotism that goes on, all that cronyism that goes on there. Divide it equally among all the people of this beautiful state of Michigan. Divide that 5.5 billion, whatever it is, whatever you're going to give Honduras and El Salvador. And don't just do it this year. Do it every year you were going to give them that money. In the rest of the states, I'm not saying fuck them. All of the aid we give to the world. Why don't we do this? Forget about my beloved sportsman's paradise. Let's for one moment, if possible, place out of the forefront of our mind the greatest state in the Union, Michigan. Let's say that we take all of the aid meant to give away to other countries and divide that equally amongst every American. Man, this would not, it's wealth redistribution if you give it to other countries. So please, before anyone says wealth redistribution, this isn't my idea. They're taking the money anyway. Let me get through this article. Hail President Trump, our God troll. He is doing a great job. I support him 100%. president's visit, blah, 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 blah. Last week, House Democrats passed a bill to fund the Department of Homeland Security, which oversees construction of the wall at current levels through February 8th with $1.3 billion for border security, a figure far less than Trump requested. Senate Republicans so far have not taken it up. The president told President told congressional Democratic leaders during a meeting on Friday that he was willing to keep the government shut down for as long as necessary, possibly months or even years, in order to get funding that he wants. And they keep saying that he wants, Trump's, well, no, this is what we want. The people that elected him, he's just doing the will of the people. There's no doubt about that. After a weekend filled with meetings about the shutdown, the president moved to call for a steel wall rather than a concrete barrier at the southern border. Trump framed the pitch for a steel wall as a concession to Democrats to move negotiations along. Why wouldn't he? You know what they hate? They hate that he is so strong and so powerful, so forceful about, the way he puts things, the way he labels people. His speech is strong, manly speech. They hate that. And they hate even more that after he calls them crying Chuck Schumer, and all, then he gets in a room with Nancy and Chuck, and he's willing to sit down and look at these people and talk reasonable. They can't believe that this guy that they've labeled all of these things is there now speaking to them. And Trump doesn't mention, hey, Nancy, you said that I was worried about my manhood, and you questioned my faithfulness and my loyalty to my country. Hey, Chuck, none of that. I tell you what, in my opinion, he is a demonstration of what a real troll is, what someone is when they're a good, honest to goodness troll. He trolls people, but he doesn't allow them to troll him back. Let me see what I got up here. Hammer Spud said, like the idea of a theme park for $10. You can use the catapult to send an illegal back home. Step right up. I've seen that at Trebuchets, and that's very, very good. Good idea. Ajax says, build a medieval wall on the border, then turn it into a tourist trap. Oh, so he's the one. That was his idea. Turn it into a tourist trap. Put a theme park there as well. Why not? Why not? Roller coasters on the wall. I mean, they say it doesn't work, but China has a wall. It's worked for them. I know it's failed at times, but that was times of war, not just people trying to come across. Most of the time, it worked very well, and now it is. It's like a tourist trap. That is an excellent idea. AT says, SHB is boss. She can take heat like no one's business. Much respect for that lady. Let me go down here. Once again, AT says, set up a Ninja Warrior obstacle course, but make this, so this is on the border. I'm assuming this is on the border. Set up a Ninja Warrior obstacle course, but make it for European-sized people. If the wee little Central and South Americans can get through it, they get to be Americans. The wee little AT, really? That's pretty funny. Okay, that gets my nod of approval. Ain't Jack says, I do think all drugs should be legal. Amen. Probably so far the wisest thing said, the most reasonable thing said here today. AT says, I want to know where the musicians are going to get the 41. Oh, the Mexicans, excuse me, are going to get the 41-foot ladders. Yeah. I mean, these people are crazy. All those things they say. It's like, oh, well, if we build a 40-foot wall, we get a 41-foot ladder, whatever this wall size is. They just say they add a foot to the ladder. Well, we'll just get, they insert 1 foot higher ladder here, size ladder. Oh, come on, man. Loafer says, I suggest a minefield. Give out numbers and you could place bets on who successfully negotiates their way through. Successful immigrants could be given a job in the U.S. military, clearing minefields. And I liked it. Not only is that very, very funny, but he does mention to say they could be given a job. If they're successful, they might not. They might not. And if they are given a job, it would be as a minesweeper. My goodness, that is gut-bustingly funny. Loafer Sheffield, thank you for that. Oh, let's see. I might get back. Let me go to another story. Y'all ponder on this. And of course, as you are, feel free. I will always go back and look at your comments and whatnot, and we'll take a look at some of those and laugh about them after, because I want to talk to you about something else here before I get gone. I'm going to play another tune or two after probably 2 more news stories, and then I'll come back for a final word and rant, because that's what I love to do. Excuse me. Tell you what, here we go. Ginsburg misses Supreme Court arguments for the first time. Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I'm going to do something that's un-ogre like, and I'm trying to try to be respectful, because I have a lot to say about this person, but I do want to be respectful, because just as I wanted folks to respect Brett Kavanaugh, and I mean, we should respect the judges that, for whatever reason, who knows how they get there, but we have to admit that it is in the end the will of the people. I'm just going to try to show her some respect. I'm not going to call her names. Washington Associated Press. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is missing arguments for the first time in more than 25 years as she recuperates from cancer surgery last month, the Supreme Court said. Now, let's face it. I want to start out by saying they said that she had some broken ribs, and now she had lung cancer, and she has some masses removed from her lungs. I'm going to argue that just like John McCain and his little skin irritation, and it turned out to be brain cancer, that no, they probably knew from the start. We're going to get down here. My point is going to be maybe something you don't think of just from this story. So let me get down here to it. Ginsburg was not on the bench as the court met Monday to hear arguments. It was not clear when she would return to the court, which will hear more cases Tuesday and Wednesday, and again next week. Court spokeswoman Kathy Arberg said the 85-year-old justice is continuing to recuperate at home continuing to recuperate and work from home after doctors removed 2 cancerous growths from her left lung on December 21st. Ginsburg was discharged from a New York hospital on December 25th. Chief Justice John Roberts said in the courtroom Monday that Ginsburg would participate in deciding the argued cases, quote, on the basis of the briefs and transcripts of oral arguments, close quote. So she's going to be able to look at what everybody says and still have her word on this. Ginsburg had 2 earlier cancer surgeries in 1999 and 2009 that she did not have to miss any court sessions from. She also has broken ribs on at least 2 occasions. The court said doctors found the growths on Ginsburg's lungs when she was being treated for fractured ribs she suffered in a fall in her office November 7th. This is the paragraph we're going to talk about, folks. Okay? This is what I want to speak with you about just a wee bit. I want you to think about this with me and tell me if the ogre's crazy. Lord knows sometimes I am. After past health scares, Ginsburg has come back to work relatively quickly. In 2009, she was at the court for arguments on February 23rd, 18 days after surgery for pancreatic cancer. That's the word. This is what we're going to look at right now. Pancreatic cancer. Folks, is it me? Am I not up to date? The man behind me there in that picture is my Uncle Herbie. He died at 38 from pancreatic cancer, right there. It's a decorated war hero from Vietnam. 38 of pancreatic cancer. Now, again, it could be me, but isn't pancreatic cancer a death sentence? Who recovers who has surgery on pancreatic cancer and recovers? I mean, I understand. I guess there's they can do a I don't know. As far as I know, that is a death sentence. Why is it, folks, that we don't open up our eyes and realize that David Rockefeller had 8 heart transplants? He had a surgery in his home with his own surgeons. He had his last one when he was in his 90s, and he was quoted saying, "Every time I get a new heart, it's like a fresh breath of life is breathed into me." I bet. Where'd you get those hearts, Rockefeller? Ooh, where'd you get them? There's people wait online for hearts and lungs and transplants, livers and kidneys. They wait. And depending upon their age and their likelihood of recovering, they get picked. But apparently, if you're David Rockefeller or if you're Ruth Bader Ginsburg, you can have fucking pancreatic motherfucking cancer. Pardon my franque. It blows me away. Why would my uncle die and she live? He was 38 years old. Oh, no, but Pizzagate's a joke. It never happened. Tony Podesta and his scumbag brother, they're not pedophiles. They don't openly talk with nomenclature known to the FBI. But like, you left a map on a handkerchief over here. You might want to get it. They know that map means it's just hidden right in front of us. These people can be pedophiles. These people can be thieves. I know I play a character for you folks most of the time. Most of the time, I want to entertain you. Today, for the most part, I'm not playing any character. This is just a human being wanting to reason with you, wondering and wanting to know if I'm crazy, or do you see what I see? Are the rich and powerful immune not only from prosecution, depending upon your party, General Flynn, depending upon your party, Paul Manafort, you know what I mean? But they're also immune from death and disease? Man, when human beings finally stand up and snatch back what is rightfully theirs, I don't think it will come at the sound of cannonade and rifle. I think it will come in much, I'm not a communist, but I think it'll come in much the same way these revolutions did come about. I think it'll happen when we all realize that we are the Morlocks and they are the Eloi. The only difference is we don't eat them. They eat us, and we live in the bowels of hell, toiling. Anyone ever seen Metroid, the old silent movie? This is what I'm thinking of, but I use the metaphor of the time machine because most people would understand that and have known that. But we are the Morlocks, and we're not evil. And when the Morlocks finally stand up and say, listen, we are done toiling in the bowels of hell so that you can live in love, light, and laughter, it'll be over. I mean, we can't. Not only should there be an outcry from everybody on no matter what their political party is, excuse me. Over the notorious RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, being 85 years old. I've got many relatives. My grandfather just passed away over the weekend, 94. And he was wise up until the day before he was sent home on hospice and given this medication. He had his mind, but even he would have said at 80, 85, no, he quit he had a excellent business, excellent trucking company. He retired from all of it because there comes a time when you have to step down. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I'll tell you, it's been a nice little stream here. I'm going to take a little break now, only because I want to shift gears. I want to give you a chance to process what I just said. And it'll only be time it takes me to play 2 songs. And then I'm going to come back and give you my final word. I implore you, I appeal to you right now with everything that I am. Empathy is our greatest tool as human beings. Ain't Jack? It is. If you can't, you empathize with me. I mentioned you specifically because I've seen something that you wrote one day. I don't want to mention it, but I do. I won't forget it though. You know, I was actually being bashed, and then you made this statement. I will say, I will paraphrase. You said something effective. Yeah, Ogre's crazy. He's nuts. But even crazy people should be listened to, and he does make points. Man, that was when I heard that, it made me realize that you, Aunt Jack, empathize, that you put yourself in my position. So, well, everybody's a little crazy. And this is what we're lacking. I think it's taken out online too. Empathy is a very difficult thing in this medium. And when we come back, I want to talk to you a little bit about why I believe road rage exists, and I will have my final word for you. Once again, let me know. When I come back, I'll start by reading any comments about Ruth Bader Ginsburg or what you may think about term limits. So if you have a strong opinion about term limits, be it for senators or anybody, let me know, and let me know what you think it should be. What would be a viable age? So tell you what, kick back and relax. We got a couple good old tunes coming your way. I'm going to go drain the main vein, get my mind right, let my voice settle down, and I'll be back for one final rant. Thank you once again for being here. Here you go.
Man walks down the street, he says, why am I soft in the middle of the rest of my life is so hard? I need a photo opportunity. I want a shot of redemption. Don't have a cartoon grave is a little away. Betty, when you call, a man says, why am I short? Span of attention. Ooh, my nights so long. Where's my little bat-faced girl? Oh, allegations. A man walks down the street, he says, why am I soft in the middle of the rest of my life is so hard? I need a photo opportunity. I want a shot of redemption. Don't have a cartoon grave is a little away. Betty, when you call, a man says, why am I short? Span of attention. Ooh, my nights so long. Where's my little bat-faced girl? Oh, allegations. If you be my bodyguard, I can call you Betty. And Betty, when you
Can't don't fight. One should not fight one's nature too much. One should only, if they offend, endeavor to make amend. And so that's what I'm doing now. I made a comment about, you were skinny, had big boobs, whatever. It's just a joke. Hopefully you didn't see it, or if you did see it, that didn't, because I don't know. I really don't know. You didn't comment on it, but anyway, blah blah blah. I never do on face to face, because this is what we're going to talk about too. We're going to talk about these nuances. That's so great. It kind of ties into that. This rambling. I just enjoy you. I see you a lot over there at MCJKs, and you always have some good to say. So, empathy can also be our greatest weakness. It can be. It needs to be used in moderation and with wisdom. With wisdom, man. You can't just be like, oh, because if you just simply empathy, of course, then you basically have a liberal lefty. Oh, and then you social justice. So, well said. I'm glad that you put that point there, because you can't only, if you're pure anything, if you don't temper everything with reason and wisdom, you're not going to get anywhere, folks. So Ajax said, if I knew how they harvested organs, none of you would be organ donors. He says, okay, he didn't say if I, I'm thinking he's saying, Ajax is saying, if you knew how they harvested organs, none of you would be organ donors. Organs from the dead are not good. And you know what, Ajax, I used to be an organ donor, but I took that off. Just heard too many horror stories. Yeah, the best one that I heard, the worst one, came from Alex Jones. But in every lie, there's truth. So I mean, when I heard him talking about, his dad's a dentist and new doctors and blah blah blah, I don't want someone to take my organs because I have a broken leg, and which would leave me dead. I want my own organs. Thank you. So here we go. Thank you for that. Oh, a wood pipe. This is a good one too. I got this at a head shop in Bay City, Michigan. And this is from a guy in Michigan called, if that's the way it goes, the Bowl Man. And no, he doesn't have his initials BM. He just has like this M for his little slogan. And man, I love this pipe. It's short, it's stout, got a really deep bowl. And yes, you have to be a real pot smoker to keep hitting it when it gets like halfway down. Myself, I just keep loading fresh buds on top of that bottom half. And then after a day or two of smoking that, I'll hit that last one. I ain't going to tell you it tastes great because it's just a resin, but boy, is it strong. And hillbillies like pipes. I'm glad you noticed that. And Ajax says they also blah blah blah. Somebody else, Loafer Sheffield. Sorry, I'm just going down the list. Loafer Sheffield said, I think there is legislation forthcoming or being debated as a precursor to becoming law. That was a lot of words there to say that. That failure to carry I do not want my bits harvested upon death automatically. So if you don't say that, they just take them. Oof. Listen, this is my body. I think Loafer Sheffield is making this point without outright saying it. That's terrible. You can't have anything of mine. So there we go. Thank you, Loafer, for that. Edgar Rice Burroughs. What an excellent writer. I love Burroughs. Nah, you're good, Ogre. Totally not offensive. Thank you so much. I'm glad of that. I really am, because I'm telling you, this is okay. So let me get into this. I'm down to the final thing. I've went through the comments. Let me put on my shades. Let me freshen up my beer. I'm going to show you how to drink a beer, Elizabeth Warren. I'm going to do it properly. And let me say that I was psych. I want to say it was psych 411. It was up there. It was past, there was no one in this class that wasn't planning on being a psychologist. I had a great professor, Dr. Rollins. I know you've probably, if you've been around, you've heard me talk about him before. He is very wise, very good professor. And he was talking about road rage and his hypothesis on why road rage is so prevalent and why someone that just goes to a day-to-day office job, 9 to 5, might be a stockbroker or something, will say like, "Oh, you motherfucker," and be like hitting somebody's window. And when we go through life, IRL, people, in the real world, as I'm walking through the shopping center or on the sidewalk, commuting on, pedestrian style commuting from place to place, if I brush against you, if I'm in your way, I mean, we have these little things. Pardon me, excuse me. Now, I've been to New York City many times. I know someone's going to say, well, not in New York City. Yes, even there, most people are abrasively polite. Okay? Even in the Northeast, I want to use that term, abrasively polite. What I mean by, they might say, excuse me, pardon me. But at least they're saying it. They bumped you, been pretty harsh. You can see that they're looking at their phone. They got their Bialy in their hand with a paper, trying to look at their text, take a bite of their Bialy, and read the stock quotes all at the same time, and they've hit you. And the thing that they say is, "Oh, excuse me." But we have that. We have these signals, verbal, these body language signals that we send to people. In real life, in the pedestrian journey, when we're not in our vehicles, which is almost an extension of our home, folks. When we're in our person, the way we were made, the way that we functioned up until 100 years ago, and really only 80 years ago, and the way the vast majority of the world still functions, these micro communications go on. I bump you, I give you a nod. I may not even say anything. I might not speak your language, and human beings can still operate in this way. We give cues, verbal and physical, that let people know I did not mean to jostle you. Yeah. And so quickly that New Yorker can actually tell you, I didn't mean to jostle you, man. I'm obviously stressed out, overworked, got my mind on 50 things, and I'm such an asshole, I can't even watch where I'm walking. And you accept that. And he gives that to you. But now you place yourself in your SUV or in your vehicle. You put another layer between yourself and humanity. Okay? That layer can become, it can make it so we're so far apart that it goes, you didn't get that little nod, and you're stressed out too, and everybody's trying to beat the red light, and this guy cuts you off, and you could see him looking, and he knows he did it, and he knows he did it, and he knows he knows that your mama sucks, and you all should fight in the fucking street, right? Anybody been there? Raise your hand if you've been there. I bet even AT's been there, because I tell you, some of the road ragingest people have had after me have been females. Don't be feminist. Don't think that they can't want to get out and kick your ass, regardless of 6'1", 215 pounds. Don't give a shit. Man, when we get online, we multiply this even more. Now, I'm segueing into a video I put up today, and I want to talk about it for a minute. I go to see this person. I've been watching her for a week. My wife and I, we actually are both concerned, but that doesn't mean we're only concerned because she went off on me and started talking about, do you want me to give your address? Listen, if you ever watch this, I don't remember her name, and it's strange. So whatever, it's on the video. But if you ever watch this, don't do that. What if I was a really malicious troll? Don't get angry. And what I'm trying to say is we put this other layer between us. Now we're deeper than just in our vehicle away. I am so far away. I made a comment. Well, you're worried about the air because this person thinks they're a targeted individual. If you don't know what targeted individual, I will take some time right now to tell you. If you don't know what targeted individual is, type fuck you. And I'll tell you what targeted individual is, or what it allegedly is. And so she's dealing with this, and they're putting stuff in the air, and she's breathing it, and she's smoking. And I'm concerned with her smoking. I drink. Look, there's people concerned with my drinking, And people tell me, Ogre, you drink too much. Memes tells me all the fucking time. You drink too much. Ogre, didn't I hear you say online your doctor said you shouldn't be having more than a beer or two a day? I just saw you drink 10 of them, you fucking asshole. And I'm like, oh, yeah, oh, memes, you got me. It's true. I should probably, I mean, this is why we have people. This is why we have a community. Left to our own, we run amok. So I guess all of that, the barriers were down. And whenever I said to this person, hey, you're saying this, but you're smoking, bam, immediately I got attacked. And for those of you that know me, man, as soon as, if you come at me and the people there, it's the first time I've ever commented with people there. I've commented before because she was doing a live stream and I showed Mrs. Ogre that she's had the camera on, pointed at her chair. You can hear everything going on in the house. I don't know if they wanted everything I could hear. I'm not even going to repeat it, the stuff I heard. It was nothing terrible. It was just her talking to somebody that was, there about personal stuff that I doubt that wanted on air. And so anyway, so once this was interpreted incorrectly, and once it was looked at by this little lady that's probably 45, 50 years old that chain smokes and guzzles down beer, her first reaction was fuck you. The best part of you rolled down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as the wet spot on the mattress. That's what she said. I was actually like, all right, because that's Arlie Ermy. I even said, because she kept saying that. I was like, man, you quote Arlie Ermy as an opener, and then now you've got nothing. I was like, grow some insults. You make something up. The only insult I actually got from anybody there was that, you're a pedophile. You look like a pedophile. Thank goodness, man. I do not look like a pedophile, for one, because you don't know what a pedophile looks like. That's number one. I would not say anyone looked like a pedophile. I have said that before, but it was someone that was. And then it was like, and I realized, man, look, I shouldn't say that even about them, because the problem is you do not know what a pedophile looks like. You don't know what they talk like. You don't know that's the problem with pedophiles, is that they walk among us and we do not know. In most cases, we have our children stay with them knowingly. And that, that's most cases. Not knowing that they're going to be abused, but we let them go because we do not know. You don't know. But that was it. That was the extent. And again, I believe, okay, I could be wrong. Look at me. I believe, could be wrong, that, because I went and looked at I'm not going to mention this guy's name. If you go to that video, you could see it because he was in the chat. But he was saying all kinds of stuff about me. And I went and looked at his video. He's probably 20, 23, somewhere around in there. And 160 pounds of just, I don't know. And hey, maybe he knows Krav Maga, woo, or some shit. Oh my gracious, have mercy. But if he didn't, he would be in trouble, because I know Glock and Sig Sauer. That's the problem. I don't even think of it. People are like fight. Don't come here to do damage, because it's not a fight here. So anyway, in the end, I haven't learned my lesson, folks. I'm sure I will, quote unquote, troll other people, i.e., in this case, in most cases for me, make a comment that may be a little harsh, like you're worried about the government putting stuff in your apartment specifically because of you. You believe that, and you're worried about that, yet you are chain smoking some kind of 100 millimeter cigarette, big old cigarette. And then boom, and wow. And just watch the video if you care to, and check her out. I would encourage, like I said on the other thing, please, if you do that, man, because I've already been labeled a bunch of stuff. Do not, if I was to see, I've made a comment or two over there. So if someone's seen what I said, that I don't look, if I was to see someone here, that went over there and was like going off the rails or something, I would disrespect you in my heart. I wouldn't say anything about it to you. I wouldn't do anything about it, but I would disrespect you in my heart. Hey, T, do you mind if I give you a wrench? I could use another one or two. whatchamacallits. I'm going to give Loafer Sheffield a wrench. I'm not even going to ask you, fuckstick. AT, if you don't mind me giving you a wrench, just give me a fuck you. And I don't see a fuck you back here. So I'm assuming that everybody understood what targeted human was, what that meant. So let's see back some of these comments. Shotgun the bottle, ogre. Oh, the bottle of beer? Yeah, what the hell? All right, here we go. Fuck. It's going to be my last beer today anyway. Can I drink it all? It's right up there to the neck. You can see it right up there to the neck. Wow. Yeah, and I don't know if that was technically shotgunning, but I turned the 12-ounce bottle up and it's gone. I tell you, you take a can, when you cut the can thing in the bottom, and then you take the top, and man, I can drink a beer in under 2 seconds that way. I haven't done it in years though, because I'm already stupid. Why the fuck, alcohol quickly like that, more than just one today. I mean, people see me online. I mean, I don't know. When I first started, I would just chug a lug beers. I think Captain Cole Pyle was the first good friend of mine that got with me and was like, you know what, Ogre, it's fun and all, but do you ever stop to think that sometimes you chug, like 6 beers on an hour and a half, 2-hour stream, and that's probably not good for you? And I really appreciate that. Captain Cole Pyle is a really good fellow. He's something else. So let's see here. Excuse me. I'm going to get to the end. This isn't my final word. I really appreciate you folks being here, and I'm going to impose just a little while longer. I don't think the red eye starts for another hour. I don't like to step on the red eye, or at least another half hour. So I'm probably going to play another song, and then I want to. It's not an apology. I don't want to come back with an apology. Why would I apologize? Right now, there's 9 people watching. It was 10. It just dropped to 9. I've got 2 likes, 2 thumbs up, and 1 dislike. On most of my videos, I got I got a lot of videos where there's thumbs down. And I mean, you know what? It's not this. I think most people are in it for a different thing. It's not overly important to me that I like you or you like me. It's not, and it shouldn't be. The most important thing to me is, do you provoke thought in me? Do you stir up emotion? Do you challenge me to think about something that I had not thought about before? Do you challenge what I've thought about and believe and have believed my whole life? These things. It's one of the reasons why Common Sense Guy is second to none. He don't give a shit that I'm a Christian. He loves me anyway. But he's no respecter of persons. He's an atheist. Or I believe he would say he's a agnostic. I don't know if he would go all out and say atheist. He has said he's agnostic. In other words, he don't, not saying there's no God. He's saying he don't believe there is, and he would need proof. And these people, he's so important to me, folks. He is so important to me, man. It's hard for me to admit to this online to people that I don't know very well, but I did. I met somebody online. Usually it's like you got married or something and the marriage lasted for 2 months, because it doesn't really usually work out. But this person isn't my wife. He's my brother. And I met a lot of people here. I just found out from Agent of Apathy, the Reaper of Butts, really good guy. He's been on the show a few times. Great fella. That he's blocked by Razor Fist. I'm not going to disparage Razor Fist, okay? The guy's helped me out, man. He's been on this channel 3 times. I believe he would be on it again. I'll probably ask him again sometime, just because I enjoy talking to the fella, and my wife loves him. Bitch. My wife does love him. She thinks, I don't think she ever misses one of his episodes. But it's like, man, it kind of broke my heart to think that he blocked on Twitter. Why? I mean, this guy could be considered by many to be offensive, and has, but he doesn't. I mean, look, boycotts don't work, and they suck. They suck, and they don't work. What happened to live and let live? What happened to sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me? Well, Justin Trudeau changed it. Now we all just go with that and say sticks and stones may break my bones, but sometimes words can hurt me. Fuck you, Justin Trudeau, you pamby ass faggot. Take your shit back up there. And the funny thing is the Canadians I know that come across the Blue Water Bridge from Sarnia to Michigan here, man, these fucking. They drink malt. They're like the dudes from Canadian Corner, man. You know, the McKenzie brothers. Remember them? The McKenzie brothers? They did a movie called Strange Brew. You know, like, how's it going, eh? We're gonna have some back bacon and talk about hockey, eh? You fucking faggot, you fucking hoser, eh? It'd be like, take off, hoser. Anyway, I mean, these are tough people, man. They're not the sissies that. And it's like, oh, you're being a white supremacist. These people can be black. They're black ones too, man. You know, that's what I get it here. It's like, white supremacists. A lot of shit I'm talking about the black folk I know that agree with me. So, what are they, white supremacists? Man, you don't want to tell JT. I actually, that's one of my aliases people know. It's a bro I know. It's a friend of mine sells crack in Saginaw, Michigan. I don't buy crack now, okay? I just happened to meet him, and we're friends to this day. Anyway, let me get off this subject. Good old JT, man, he would definitely be there for freedom. Freedom is the only thing that matters. And if you can't, I have to accept your freedom. Now, and I don't mean this Desmond is amazing freedom or lactation. Anybody seen that Lactatia? Oh my. The parents of these kids should be taken out in the wilderness of the tip of the mid of Michigan right now. Let me take them too. Let me take them. They should be taken out in the wilderness. It'd only be 80 miles in one of four directions to get to civilization. Let me take them there, strip them naked, and drop them off. Why are you doing that? I mean, just say you're going to accept your kid, all right? Listen, man, my mom's got pictures of me in her high heels and dresses with makeup on. I was like 3 years old. My sister kept me in there, like Justin putting mom stuff on, and she like helped me a little bit with some stuff. We made a big joke. There's pictures of it. There is. I was 3 years old. There's also pictures of me with shades on like this and a 3-piece suit with a guitar. No kidding. It was like within the same year. I mean, my mom's got albums. I've got some of them here. I might share some of those with you because I know I have the two that I just spoke of. But I didn't. I mean, what my mom was supposed to look at me and say, oh, he's wearing my dresses. He's a fucking cross-dresser. Let's take him downtown New York City and have men throw dollars at him while he makes sexually suggestive poses. Man, listen, you motherfuckers. I tell you what. There is this barrier I talked about, but I'm going to say something, man, and take it how you want. But any of you spineless motherfuckers that ever says that, I mean, you want to say I look like a pedophile, fine. Like I said, that's subjective, and I would say you don't know what a pedophile looks like. But any of you motherfuckers that say that, I'll tell you what, I would dare you to say it to my face. Would never dox myself, but it's obvious where I live, and I drive here from the town that I live close to all the time, man. If someone would ever want to say that, I mean, because it's horrible. It's just, Well, and it's hidden in plain sight. We see these. Oh, why did I let my mind go back to that? I couldn't get over it, man. I mean, I went back and I was looking. I did a 3-part series on Pizzagate. And I'm going to do a 4th. I was watching that and I was like, man, you did a lot of research, Ogre. It's been about a year and a half ago or so that I did it, maybe even 2. So long ago, hell, I worked with the Hard Bastard. I was mentioning the Hard Bastard and Tree of Logic. Wow. I mean, these people are great too. Watch Hard Bastard and Tree of Logic if you want. I just know them personally, so I don't have no use for them anymore. Britisher, I do have use for. We don't work together anymore, but I highly suggest you watch the Britisher, listen to what he says, mix it in there with what you think, and can't just take everybody's word for it. Oh man, I'm rambling. So I'm going to go and come back and because daggone, I fully blame AT. You're the one. Oh, it's guzzle a beer, Ogre. If you're any kind of man, Ogre, guzzle beer. Now, I don't mind the joke you made about my boobies, Ogre, but now that I said it's okay, you guzzle a beer, you're not a man, little boy. And so now, look, this is what you got. Just teasing. Only joking. I do feel good, though. I feel no pain. That's fucking nice, baby. Nice. I mean, that's what Bush, I mean. And people are like, oh, Bush is cheap beer. What, you drink Budweiser? You're going to call Bush cheap beer? This is their flagship. This is Anheuser-Busch, not Anheuser-Bud. This is their flagship beer. And I believe, as far as Anheuser-Busch goes, the best beer they make. Not Busch Light, but Busch. Very, very tasty, very delectable. So, yeah, I play one more tune, and then I'm going to come back and give you my real final word. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming by. I'm going to do something I don't usually do. Because I got some people out there that type a lot, but they're also broad thinkers. So anybody out there, oh, hey, Captain Copile, just seen that you're here. Good to see you, my brother. I was mentioning you earlier. Love you very much. Glad that you're here. Yeah, but if anyone that's been here, Ain't Jack, anybody that wants to come by and participate in the final word, I'm going to send this link out now. I'll see if you pop up here. If you don't, no worries. Anybody here. But remember, it will be the final word. So you will be showing up to give like your 2 cents on anything we talked about today, anything we've not talked, whatever. It'll be your final word. You'll have 5 minutes to do it. So, excuse me. I'm going to play a tune, look at that link, decide if you're going to be a part of the final word. By the end of the song, I'll probably play two because I got to play one for Captain Copile now. By the end of the tune, the 2 tunes, that is, if you're here, we'll do the final word. If not, I will do my own. Once I start, if you show up, we'll talk after hours. And if anybody wants to show up after hours, once I push the hang up, I will wait for about a minute to see if anyone shows up and wanted to say something to me personally. All fair. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming by. Captain Copile, you have been in my prayers. I lost my grandfather over the weekend. And, men like us, though, we keep going forward, don't we? In fact, I would go so far as to say that you'd be hard-pressed to stop men like you and I from going forward. So here you go. Here's some more 80s guff.
Oh, I see that lantern trimmed low, burning it out. Oh, and oh, I feel like crying. I swear tonight I'll cry no more. And how many times have I prayed that I will get lost along the way? Dream with the feathers of angels stuck beneath your head. The regulator, swinging pendulum. Dream with the feathers of angels stuck beneath your head. The regulator, swinging pendulum. Come with me and walk the longest mile. Come with me and walk the longest mile. Is his wallet leather? Is his wallet fat? For not a year later, it's got you lying on your back. You should have closed your windows and got another dog. You should have chained up all the doors and switched up all the locks. And how many times have I prayed the angels would speed me away? Dream with the feathers of angels stuck beneath your head. The regulator, swinging pendulum. Dream with the feathers of angels stuck beneath your head. The regulator, swinging pendulum. Come with me and walk the longest mile. 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 Wow, yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, I think Captain Copile said it. It's always a good time for Clutch. They make me feel good deep down inside, and I give everybody a chance. I would have loved to have had AT, Check, anyone on to give their final 2 cents, but I don't know, man. I guess in the end, maybe I don't know. I mean, myself, I've been told by people that have been on, not prepared, and it's like, oh, we're gonna have a final word. It's like, oh, you put me on the spot. Guess what, folks? One of my downfalls has never been not having something to say. Not always been a good thing. Not always been, a positive. I would say it's not 50-50, though. I would say that it's probably 80-20, 80 positive, 20 negative. Because for the most part, communication, it's what us Homo sapiens have. It's, coupled with empathy, coupled with logic, coupled with reason. When we join these things, when we join education with experience, because it's always, I gotta right now. Excuse me. This dude's talking about how Donald Trump is, it's this black feller, and just calling Donald Trump racist. He was saying how Donald Trump. Listen, in the end, because I voted for somebody, you can't lump me in anything. I mean, I don't. All I did was say I wanted to change. I wanted something different. This is the point. This is my final word. My mind was going about 50 different ways when I started to think about that. The fact of the matter is, I gotta do a couple things before Mrs. Ogre gets home. This has been a lot of fun. It's been a good time. But I think the Brown Eye comes on, whatever. This other stream comes on. Go by, check them out. Everybody here probably knows who they are, so go by, check them out. I'll be listening whether or not I comment, believe it or not. I listen to that stream nearly every day. Hope nothing but the best. It's just some people don't understand cross promotion and cross pollination, and one hand washes the other, both hands wash the face. Some folks would not grasp that concept if you walked up to them, wrote it on a baseball bat, and proceeded to tattoo it into their forehead via baseball bat. I mean, just wouldn't do it. So, what am I willing to do let's start small. What am I willing to do for myself? What am I willing to do for my dog, my wife, my home, my community, my nation, my state, my nation, my country, my world? Not much. I think in the end, we all run on the principles of self-preservation. We all want what's best for us. If what's best for us lines up with what's best for our community and all those other things that I named, then so be it. It's good. It's great. If it doesn't, we start questioning it right away. I want to question things that are obviously wrong, that seem wrong, that are obviously good, obviously right, and that seem right. Everything in between. I don't want to be stifled, and I don't want to stifle anybody else in that pursuit. And I tell you what, folks, till I see y'all again, be good to your friends, be good to your family members, be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, family member, loved one has done seems to be so huge, you'll never be able to forget about it. Because constant viewers, at a time you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, and everything you know will depart from you. See you on the red eye.